Golf has always been massively influenced by technology, and in the Golfing World Lab we are going to study all of those innovations, all of the real game changers that have affected how we play golf today. So we're going to build a timeline of all of these game changers so we can understand where the game has come from and where it's going in the future. So we're here in the Golfing World Lab and we're trying to discover all of those different game changers, and there's no doubt that the art of photography has massively changed the science behind the golf coaching. So if we think about, 1000 AD, Al-Hazan creates the first pinhole camera. So from those early days, human beings were interested in capturing their memories. But sort of the first golf pictures, 1845, showed those sort of 4 or 5 guys standing over a putt. And obviously the photography took such a long time there. It was more the art of the photography than it was about the sport. And really I'd say probably, 1930s, we saw a huge jump forward as the small cameras began to get faster shutter speeds. And in 1954, Sports Illustrated came into being, and where sort of really good photographers would then go to these sporting events and try to capture for the folks at home a sort of a closer feeling of what that sport was like. However, that still didn't do us any good in the golf swings. If we look at some of these old classic books, this is one of my absolute favorites, On Learning Golf by Percy Boomer, and we can see, he's trying to use, the still pictures here to be able to illustrate it. But look what this book is made of. Hundreds of pages, hundreds of excellent pages of text, and it's very difficult to learn about the dynamic motion. We now go to sort of the Golf Bible, Ben Hogan's 5 Lessons, the Modern Fundamentals of Golf, and we can see again, although they're fantastic artist pictures, lots of text, again there's no dynamic motion, very, very difficult for us to really sort of capture or copy what was happening, what Ben Hogan felt that he was doing, what he was trying to tell us. And move one step forward when we had, this was my favourite golf book when I was little, The Young Golfer, and this was a flick book. So here you've got Vivian Saunders and Clive Clark trying to show you through flick books, still pictures that you would run really quickly, how to learn, and that actually was pretty good, and I think that gave you an image. But again, we can see, from David Ledbetter's The Golf Swing, which is a great golf book, and gave you a lot of sort of structure about how to practice your game. Again, all illustrations. So what we would have to do is wait until 1980s, where sort of these huge portable cameras, which we used to carry either on tripods, but they still had no playback, the quality was no good, there was no real high-speed pictures, you couldn't see any detail, which meant that people like Arnold Palmer, Johnny Miller, even Greg Norman, they had never the chance to see what they really did. And as we all know, there's a huge difference between what you think you do and what you actually do in golf. But in the early 1990s, Hi8 came to being, and Sony made a camcorder which was a self-contained unit. High-speed shutters, playback so we could go frame forwards, frame backwards, and it's all evolved massively to where now this is the camera that you need. This captures absolutely all of the detail in this tiny little package. So you've still got sort of teachers in one place and pupils in another place. And I remember being a tour coach, I'd get phone calls at all times of the day or night because there was no mobile, there was no internet. But all of this technology has now allowed professional golfers out on tour to communicate instantly to their professionals back at home to get the positive feedback which helps them win those titles. So more than anything else, the video camera, the internet, and the ability to communicate quickly has been a game changer.